We made it. We're here. How many years in the works has this been, Steve?
At least 3 years. We've been talking about it, so
It's been
finally,
time. We needed to do it.
finally pull the trigger for episode .5.
It might be 0.25. This might not even be a thing.
0.25A.
So introduce yourself for the people.
You introduce yourself.
My name's Jheremy Brown. I am Steve's right-hand man and his assistant. Anything he tells me to do is what I do. And we have come together and had this idea of intertwining all of our worlds together. We have, with our day jobs, with our hobbies, with everything in between, all the families we can help, have helped, will help, have talked to, just some oddball stuff here and there as well. So that is kind of what this will be about, right?
Yeah. We obviously both collect baseball cards. We both work in baseball and have been doing it for a long time. So this will kind of encapsulate all of the different things: baseball cards, recruiting, scouting, what we see, what we hear. We'll get some players on, some coaches on, kind of see where this goes, and
some fellow card degenerates as well.
Yeah, we know plenty of degenerates. Actually, just talking with a lot of the scouts in the SoCal area, like they collect cards and just kind of the guys that have signed like the Jerry Jones of the world, like Brian Tracy signed Jerry Jones. We talk at games and what he's buying now. Bud Smith with the Blue Jays, he's kind of in the hobby too, and we kind of chop it up just when we're at games, just kind of like, hey, what'd you pick up? And what are we looking? I saw you were at Sasquatch's debut. How'd he look? Like, do I need to buy some of his cards? So, just kind of
a whole new element to it.
Yeah. So we might tie this into like doing some card breaks and stuff like that, and just kind of see where it goes.
Yeah. So, what's the name? Why the name? This is your baby, the name of it, and our idea, but your name and why.
Questionable makeup. And for the moms out there, it has nothing to do with your makeup, but makeup is a thing in baseball. It's just kind of like the off the field stuff, mental stuff, just attitude, just kind of everything that's not seen on the baseball field. And I have questionable makeup. I'm a train wreck. I'm a circus. So no, we'll kind of get that more of that down the line, because I kind of want to incorporate some other stuff, just like talked with some like Keith Law, I know, kind of attacks that, and like they came out with Jarren Duran on the Red Sox
Netflix.
The documentary on there on Netflix, just kind of like the stuff that he was going through. That's part of makeup. Like obviously he overcame a lot, and that's just kind of something that from time to time, just some stuff that we'll circle back with and maybe talk with some people that have been through some stuff. I've been through some stuff, so we're not going to attack that right away. Kind of keep it lighter for the 25 one, but just kind of a slight theme that's baseball related, and then something that we can kind of dive into at some point, and maybe have like myself talk about some of my things, and maybe get Jarren Duran on here, and stuff like that. So
from there. So what do you want to talk about then? Lighthearted.
Let's jump into like your background with PG. How long you been kind of doing this, and what's your role?
We're like 12 years now. Right out of college, 2013. Kind of done a little bit of everything. Did the college, did the draft, did the high school, in charge of like the team rankings, help with the player rankings, obviously still do. 10 years ago now, I found my niche with the 14U Select Festival that came together, and at the time they were like, hey, we got this 14U game, we got to get it together. And I'm like, 14U baseball? Like, no way are you going to find like this, that. I just happened to be the guy at the 14U World Series that ran congruently with like the 16U. And now it's taken over my life, so figure that it went out. But then get it together and you start digging, and it's like, all right, there's real talent at the 13, 14U level. So the Select Festival is kind of what I have focused on heavily. The 13U, 14U Nationals lead into that, all the tournaments, all the gateways. It all is a feeder system. So be able to see these players, the ones who maybe don't make the game, but then put in the work and become the All-American, become the first-round pick, is as rewarding as it is to see the kid you identified at 13U make it into the big leagues. We've had 4 of them now that played in the 14U game, and we're going to have a host more. So Now, from draft, from high school, from college, now I do 13, 14U and focus more in the youth market for us.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that whole process, how it plays out. Like, I've seen guys from high school to college to the pros to like Max Muncy with the A's. Like
Yep.
he made his debut last week or
Yep.
I guess opening day, so he's been up for a couple of weeks. But kind of saw him as like maybe a sophomore in high school, where it was like
Right.
this athletic kid kind of running around the field, kind of with his hair on fire, and then he continually progressed. And then at Thousand Oaks, he's working with Jack Wilson, kind of refined his defensive skills to where he was like a real shortstop and kind of just dialed in his athleticism into where it was, becoming a ball player. So, and then, here he is up in,
Big what? 3 years
I guess,
out?
Can you even say Sacramento, or it's not
right.
Oakland anymore? But
3 years out though from being drafted, right? 22 draft.
Yeah, pretty quick, pretty progression
kid?
for him. Yeah. That's, I mean, especially for someone of his background, where it's like the athlete. Usually, that's the slow and low type of guy, and he's kind of progressed with the bat, and kind of figured stuff out quick.
So how about you tell me? It doesn't feel right to not just dive right into Sasquatch. There's a Sasquatch sighting. We've had 7,000 internal notes from you. Sorry, I'm turning. I got to charge the computer too.
Yeah.
7,000 internal notes from you about Sasquatch. How was he?
He was good. Like, okay, Boston Bateman. He played for the SoCal Giants. I think I saw him his sophomore year, where he was a big fella. And so, like, I think it might have been Dimitri Young, one of the guys up on the valley. Like, I think it was Dimitri, gave him the nickname Sasquatch because of his size. But he just kind of became one of my favorite kids just to follow, just because it's this massive kid. He's like 6'8". I don't even know what he is now, probably 260.
He was
like
big
now.
At 14. He was at 14.
Yeah.
He was big, like just an intimidating presence.
Yeah, so just kind of seeing him playing with the SoCal Giants with the Fix group, like he's hitting, he's like right-handed hitter with power and all that, and like most high school kids don't want to be POs, so he keeps hitting. And I know he hit for the Padres at Petco, and I guess he put on a pretty good display like pre-draft. But I kind of saw him go from this big lefty that threw pretty hard, that was like scary as we're gonna cuss on here. Or we're gonna cuss. Parental discretion's advised. He was pretty wild, like at times. So I was gonna drop an F-bomb, but I'll save that for later in the show. No, it's like he's just it's a scary at bat, and he was like 1-4. His draft year, he touched some 5s and 6s, and his pro debut last week, I went down to Lake Elsinore. It was 96, 97, changeup 90, 91, slider like 86, 87s, curveball like low 80s, and he kind of got into the same stuff that kind of got him in trouble in high school, where he's not getting over the front side as much, to where he's kind of missing up an arm side. But like the stuff was legit. Like, I mean, for a first pro, his first pro debut, that's kind of redundant, but his pro debut, to show that stuff and have some, like the first 2 innings were fine. Then he kind of, that's when he, like third inning out there, that's when he was kind of struggling to kind of find the glove. But it's just cool to see. I mean, and he's like,
nerves are still going to get him too, right? Like,
yeah. So like,
did he throw after he signed last year or no?
I think he was just in Arizona, just kind of doing some stuff. But then he threw in the prospect game, and what's his name? I think Tommy Tanks went oppo on him, but it was like an Arizona home run, where I think that's where they play, where it was just like oppo, and like it just kind of carried out because like he and the ball travels well out there. And then I think Muncy hit one that was in the air for like 10 seconds that the right fielder didn't get. But so it was like the stuff was good. Like, if he can kind of find a feel in a delivery to where he's getting to that consistent release, to where he's getting the ball down and kind of moving it east and west a little bit, then there could be something there. Like, I texted one of the Padre guys, I was like, the closer for the Dodgers now that was with the Padres. Like, if he doesn't find command, he's going to be. It's kind of like that's what the vibe was. This big kid throwing hard,
right?
And so if it ends up in the bullpen, it could be like a 100-mile-an-hour guy. But he's got 4 pitches, so it's
right.
like
he's got the size and frame to withstand the rigors of starting.
Yeah, and he kind of held it pretty well. It was like 94 to 96. Once he kind of in the third, fourth inning or whatever, but the stuff was fun. And it's just a kid that you root for because he's like one of the nicest kids like that I've seen kind of covering the game for however long it's been. It's been a while.
With one of the better autographs too. And I know you got a bunch of them to show for
it. Yeah. So like you said, we're going to kind of cover scouting and collecting and all that. And he's like one of the guys that I've bought. And most of the guys that I buy cards of, it's more like the SoCal guys that I like that are affordable. I can't jump in and like I have some Bryce Rayner, but I'm not dropping $600 on a couple cases to get Detroit and then get skunked.
No doubt.
Until this podcast money starts, rolling in and we get rich, then
or we get some break credit.
Yeah, this part of the podcast is brought to you by KK Sports Cards. Follow them on Whatnot. Jump in. We will be getting some sponsors and stuff like that down the line, but
it'd be nice.
KK is one of them. We're going to try and get some cards from them and do some breaks. Maybe get Sasquatch and Cash Mayfield.
All sorts of guys.
League. Yeah, so I mean, they're both in 2024 drafts, so those are guys that
endless possibilities.
Yeah, so
like truly
starting now, the possibilities are endless.
Investors, possibly you.
No, that's just. I mean, like I think today we'll talk about like Bowman 2025, which comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just like the checklist was just dropped, so we'll jump into that and kind of the guys that we like, the guys we're looking at, and maybe some sleepers and all that. Because like a lot of the guys that I'm buying are like, like Bateman, like Boston Bear with the Mets. Yeah, personal cheese balls. Like Mason Miller was one. Like he was one of the guys I was getting like autographs for $3, and then I was like flipping them for $50.
Right.
And an orange I've got for like 70 and sold for like 350. Like I'm always looking for under the radar guys I like more than the hobby likes.
And then that allows you, like you said, you flip one, but then you get all that money that you get to go put it back into kids that you like and enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We'll get you another Braylon Doty.
Yeah, another like Doty's like another one. Like I think I was talking with like Bud about him. Like he went in and kind of checked in on the box scores and saw like he was like sitting like 94.5 average fastball, and he's first couple outings are looking pretty good. And like yes, the hobby doesn't really like pitchers, but
we're gonna change that.
We're gonna change like you with like the Stuff Plus models. Like you can look at a minor leaguer's stuff and not his stats, and like, okay, this is going to translate to the major league level as long as health permitting. Yes, pitchers get hurt, but for the most part they come back. Still waiting on Dylan Lesko. Come on, buddy, we need to figure it out. I'm heavily invested in Dylan Lesko, as the PG degenerates know, but stuff's still good. Need to find the command coming off of Tommy John, so
he'll get there. That was one of the best prep arms I've ever seen.
So that's why like I'm like so heavily invested in Lesko. It's like he was the best high school pitcher I had seen until the last couple of years with Seth Hernandez at Corona. He probably will be in 2026 draft, but
2025 draft.
The product.
2025 draft.
Okay.
Get drafted in 25.
Yeah. Okay.
By title. We're semantical here.
Cut. Let's start over. I suck. Jesus. God.
So who are you buying? Who are your guys here that you're looking for? 25.
For 25?
Yeah.
I haven't.
You haven't even looked? Are you a Nate?
I love. Go ahead. You jump. Like I went. Like McGonigal was my guy. Like I loved it. Like in high school, he came out to area codes and he was just playing the ball all day. And I was like, okay, everybody will be chasing Rayner. I'm going to go McGonigal and like in some pick your player type of breaks and all that. And then
they held him.
Then he's like held out for this one, and now he kind of blows up to where it's like
he's like the chase.
Yeah, he's going to be like one of the top chases in the product now.
He's one of the top chases. I see a lot of Weatherholt people psyched up about Weatherholt. JJ, obviously.
Who's on the cover?
Charlie Condon. So
Condon.
huge chase there.
I don't know. He hasn't really.
I don't think he's played yet this year. He got banged up
Okay.
in the beginning of the year. And you got
So
the guys. Then you have guys that like have been in pro ball but haven't gotten first yet. You got Quinn Matthews, who was
right.
MILB pitcher of the year last year. Pitcher, obviously, Cardinals, and then you got George Klassen, who was traded this past offseason. Was it this past season? He got traded.
Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was for the reliever.
yeah. Estevez,
Yeah,
right?
Emilio Estevez. Yeah,
So like, there's two that have played, and we saw that with who? Kyle Harrison. Jack Leiter never got a first.
right.
We've seen guys who
So,
have
well,
like already.
why would Leiter get a rookie card first before he gets a Bowman first? That just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. And then you have guys like, as I look, the number 2 card on the checklist is Zaire Hope, who
Yeah.
I think is going to get his second set of autos. Like, because he has them from 2 years ago, right? Like,
He had.
it's like very, very, yeah, he's in this
He had
year's.
like 12. He had red autos, and red first autos, the superfractor. Then he had the blue, my first Bowman auto. So he had like 17
7?
or 12
Yeah.
cards, something like that. Like,
So like, but then he's gonna follow suit of Sebastian Walcott, of kind of
and
Merrill,
Griffin from KK Sports Card pulled 2 of those red Zaire Hopes. So shout out to Griff.
right? Did
The
he?
best breaker on the app. Yeah, pretty
2?
sure. I
Dang.
think he pulled 2. And like nobody knew what they would go for, but it's like, I mean, the rarity of that. Like there's some James Wood
I mean, yeah,
21 drafts that
Backyard
came
ones.
out, and then like somebody jacked them from tops or whatever. But
I just saw that with somebody else as well. Like a card that wasn't supposed to be out. It wasn't Wood though, but there was another one that like, hey, what's this worth? It's like, how did you even get that? That shouldn't be out.
yeah, it's just weird. Like, what's the name?
Those Zaires were
Schoenletter.
packed though, right? Obviously,
I
if
don't
he
know.
kept them. I mean, he packed them in a break. If he has 2 of the reds, like,
Oh, but that's
Zaire.
not yeah.
but like, what
Yeah,
are the
those,
odds?
Those were out of packs. Yeah.
What are the odds of grabbing 2 reds of anybody, let alone the
Wait,
guy
like,
who has no other
1 in
autos?
10. It's got to be more than. I don't hit cards. I suck at breaks, but
Either
could
way,
forever hit that. But like even like I know like I was hitting up Cole Schoenletter before
serial time.
20 before 23 draft came out. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Honey Nut Cheerios.
The taste you can
No?
see. Nope, that's
What are you
Cinnamon
going
Toast
with?
Crunch.
What are we eating here? What do we got?
Some like, I don't even know. It's got strawberries in it.
Strawberries. All right. Well, that's not really going to get us any ad money. So
No,
gotta be
strawberries,
a little more
strawberries,
specific than
strawberries.
strawberry cereal.
I guess Jesus Made is probably one of the biggest chases too, being like 17 years old, huh? He
Yeah.
also did it like stateside.
Yeah. That's
So.
international guy. Like, was he a huge bonus?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was like crazy, like
Jesus Made.
prize or anything. Jesus Made. If that was my name, I'm just rolling with a shirt that says Jesus Made on the
He signed
front.
for
Hashtag.
$950K in
That's not bad.
2024, so he like hit the ground running.
Yeah. Just killed it in the DSL or whatever, and then came stateside
And continued swinging it. And he's only like 17 years old. Now he's the number 2 prospect.
I'm getting an earthquake alert on my phone.
You can't make this kind of content up, baby.
There's the
Jesus
first
is now
F-bomb. Now I can't hear anything.
Jesus is ranked higher than Cooper
gotta-
Pratt now.
Okay, mic check. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so we have the first podcast has an earthquake warning popping up on my phone.
This isn't a first podcast. This is a 0.25.
This is the 0.7 point. Well, we're doing pretty good, I feel. So maybe 0.8.
Maybe 0.5.
Well,
I don't know.
let's see
What
what
is
this is.
that earthquake on the Richter scale? We'll go with
That's
that.
what I'm saying. It's a 0.45. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're there. Jesus Made is number 52 in the overall. Feels good.
It's not bad.
I mean,
Who do you go for rankings? You pipeline?
yep. He's only 17
Pipeline's good.
still. Like, and
What else? Like,
he's in A-ball right now. He's hitting 200 with a 360 OBP, but like has a bomb. Again, he should literally be like a junior in high school.
yeah, he's just a
Like-
baby.
which is wild. Like his cards are gonna go nutty. I think. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like his Elite Extra auto he had prior to were like absurd. So
Aside from Sasquatch, I did see Felton Celestin. He was
where was
playing
that?
for Modesto. He had a couple of hits, didn't really barrel up much. He got a hit off a Sasquatch in the first inning, just kind of like a oppo ground ball. Defensively showed really good range going up the middle. Got two balls that couldn't really complete the play, but just kind of showing that range at that age. He's another one. He's probably
He's 19.
he's like 12 years old. So
I never realized he was a shortstop. I guess that's on me.
what did you think it was outfielder?
I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
only 19, so September of 2005. Just lean. Like I mean, he's going to put on like 20 pounds in the next couple of years. But
Right.
he was hitting. I mean, he's hitting 370 with a 414 OBP, so he's got one pump, and the ball kind of flies. Like everyone, like at Lake Elsinore, they got like kind of like a monster wall in right field, and like every ball that was going the other way was just flying out. One dude hit one out to right center, and then it went off the wall that kind of felt like it was just corn going the other way. But the Cal League kind of the stats can be misleading, but that's why I'm more like StatCast, batted ball data. If I can get TrackMan data at college games, that's what I'm always going to more than just the surface stats. But
No doubt.
so far so good for Felton and Celestin with a 370 batting average, and
What
he hit
about
352 last year, so that's not bad.
who am I looking at right now? Somebody you are in on before others. Any guesses?
Boston Barrow.
No, Sebastian Walcott.
Walcott, yeah.
What do you
The
think?
guys
Like,
from the Rangers guys were just blowing him up like he's going to be a madman.
what do you think of like the non-first auto? Does it sustain? Does it hold?
Yeah,
Does it continue to go up?
like Jackson Merrill.
Like, are people
Jackson
going to
Merrill,
treat that as the first? They should, but are they going
they
to?
should. I think they will. I mean, you look at like Jackson Merrill. Like, if you don't know, if you don't follow the hobby, like I only collect Bowman cards. Like that's kind of like I'm a Bowman snob, I guess. Like, but for me, Bowman's like the top product. It's
Yep.
clean. And like the Bowman first is like every player gets their Bowman first card, well, except for some guys, if whatever they fall through the
Apparently.
cracks. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, the guys get drafted. Bowman draft comes out. Bateman, these other guys get their Bowman first cards. Then they have autos in them. But Jackson Merrill's,
Kind of
his
an
Bowman
infamous
first,
card now, right? Throw it up on the screen.
yeah. I'll find it at some
Well,
point if I
that's
can figure that out.
that was an editing note. No, the post
Merrill.
production. Steve, you carry this. You keep talking, buddy, because I'm gonna pee my pants.
All right. So Jackson Merrill's Bowman first card actually has a picture of a right-hand hitter that he played like travel ball with, Isaac Fry. So his Bowman first still carry value, and Merrill's like one of my favorite players to watch, and just kind of hearing him talk and how he kind of approaches like signing the contract that's kind of team friendly. Like he's locked in with San Diego for a while. Like I heard he went over in Arizona to talk with like the fresh batch of the guys that were just drafted. Just like his whole, I don't know. I'm just in on that, but I can't
Not questionable
invest
makeup.
any. No, great makeup, way better than mine. But like
You're in.
I can't spend $20 on a Bowman refractor of Jackson Merrill that is Isaac Fry hitting right-handed. So like
Right.
he's like the only guy. He's like the only player that I'll buy some tops on, and I have maybe 10, 12 of his autograph cards just from tops and just other various products. But
No doubt.
yeah. So yeah,
Nothing bad.
Merrill.
But I mean, obviously, like that one still will carry value because it's his technical first. It has a first
Yeah, so-
stamp. Like, should they have
But
restamped the next year's as his real first? Would that have done anything? Like,
it would have just created more controversy. But his first autograph that doesn't have the first stamp on it is still going for 120
But
bucks or so.
but
So I
something
mean,
like
it's
that,
still
what if
pretty
it
good.
had the first? Like compare them to another
It
young
would be. It would
superstar.
definitely. Yeah, it would definitely go for more. Like you, like just watching some of the stuff on Whatnot today. Like some of the guys, like Rainer's close
Right.
to like 75 to $100 for just a first auto, stuff like that.
And like Caglianone's
And
doing almost 200.
Yeah, that his market's nuts. Nick Kurtz is going off, so like his market's up, and like that's kind of how it goes. Like everyone kind of sees like the player makes his MLB debut and his card spike, or
Yep.
Spencer Jones hits one 580 feet in a breakout game, and his
Yep.
market
Just
just
explodes
skyrockets.
overnight.
So it's yeah, so like that's like if you're kind of buying to sell, that's like what you're waiting for. That's what you when you want to flip.
That
Like
one viral moment, basically.
yeah, I like one of my favorite singles guys on Whatnot, like Matty, like Sports Cards Frenzy on Whatnot. Like he sells a lot of singles and he does some case break stuff like that. I got a Spencer Jones Superfractor 1 of 1. So like for those of you who don't know the baseball card thing, like they have like their chrome card, then they'll have a red card that's out of 5, an orange card that's out of 25. A Superfractor is just
The only
one just
one.
one
It's
of
gold
one.
and shiny
So it's gold, shiny with little waves on it,
and
and like
highly
that.
sought
So
after.
yeah, so like I got the Spencer Jones insert. I bought it for like $400, and like I've sold it. After he hit that tank in the breakout game, like for like $700. So quick turnaround, and
Yeah.
yay
And
me.
that just helps us refuel our collections, basically.
Yeah, and so
Like,
then I buy somebody else that I like. So
yeah. And it's fun. It keeps you like engaged with baseball levels that you didn't normally necessarily need to watch. Like if you buy in on a kid and he starts going off, like you start following him more, you know. So
yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like how I kind of got on like Mason Miller. Like just I know Max Muncy a little bit, and like I bought some of his cards, and like 2 years ago, G from Whatnot came out, and Muncie was on the stream, and we're kind of talking about some players before. He's like, yeah, like this Mason Miller guy is like a freak. And then you kind of look at his stats, and you're like, okay, they're good, but like he's throwing like 13 innings and 15 innings. He's had
right,
arm trouble and issues and all that. And it's like, okay, so if he stays healthy, like this guy could be a
guy.
motherfucker. Like, yeah, so like he's throwing. It'd be better if he was a starter, but like for closers, for
For relievers, like
Payasado
that
and
market
Bowman,
last year was
yeah,
he
it was
exploded.
nuts. Like it was, yeah. So I was buying them at 3, selling them for 50, and I still have some that I kind of sent you, so you could sell some singles, and just that's a win. We call that a win.
No doubt.
So,
Yeah.
so who else? Who else use? I finally found how to use my Google, and I got like
Yeah.
the autographs coming up here.
Well,
Anybody in particular like you're looking at?
I got a 6 minute and 30 second countdown up in my screen until we run out of time here, buddy. But I got some. Let's see.
Quick, 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 quick.
I mean, I love Slade Caldwell. Him and his family since they were 13, just like A+ people. Thomas White,
Right.
he's another festival kid from Massachusetts. I've known him and his parents forever. It's like that's like the basis. You do SoCal, I do all the kids who played in those 13 and
Right.
14 festivals. So anytime I see somebody Alejandro Rosario, and every time there's a new list, there's a couple more kids that you get to add to the collection. And not that it completes their Chase Mobley as I look down. It doesn't complete their cycle because they haven't made the big leagues. For me, that's when it's fully complete, but it's another like peg in the journey, and it's fun to just kind of follow them.
Right. And just kind of looking at like the prospect autographs, some of the SoCal guys like Cody Freeman, like
Yep.
his brother
Tyler.
Tyler was just traded.
Yep.
Great baseball family, and like I saw Cody eat a baseball at 91 to the grill, and I'm like, I see a lot of shit. So
Just
like I see kids get hurt, I see kids get hit in the face and stuff like that. Cody
yeah.
got hit in the face, and I'm like, bro, like here's a video of it. Do you want to be the public, like make it public? He's like, hell yeah, like I want to see it. I don't care because he like after he's like, okay, he's fine. So like,
Yep.
maybe I can find that in post production. Like Caleb Lomavita, like Hawaiian kid, like
Yep.
he played for TB SoCal, and I was out in Arizona, so we were like living together for a week, like in this one of the parents had a house, and like my daughter's out there and he's there. I'm like, just don't touch my fucking daughter. Like this part ways, but like coolest kid in the world. He's like doing backflips off the house into the pool and just like a total like just such a likable kid. And that's a reason for me to buy his cards. Like just because I'm like guys I want to pull for, and then he goes to Cal, hits well, and gets drafted pretty good.
Right.
It's kind of scrolling. Dylan Fiend, I'll see his brother today. Dylan's a catcher, switch-in catcher, and then his brother Gavin's like shortstop that had a huge summer and has been hitting all year and showing power. So like, good baseball family from the Temecula area. Scrolling down.
I mean, just like in general, I feel like this checklist for a first release in the year, first of three, you have Bowman, you have Chrome, you have Draft. Like, it feels like there's a lot to chase here, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So Jonah Tong is another top prospect for the Mets who's been around but hasn't had a first. And then you have all the prospects that come back. PJ Morlando, huge one.
Morlando, big PG guy, like huge power. One. Is he playing? He's got to be.
I think he's on his way back. Alex Mooney's the MVP of the All-American games. Got his now, so the All-American Classic.
I mean, then they got some retreads with Bazana. Like obviously they're kind of hitting that market. Like, hey, these guys are kind of carried the draft hobby, so they're going to come
Jackson
up
with it too. Caglione, Cobb Hightower is another one people are in on, like almost an under.
I thought he might. Where's he playing? I thought he might be in Lake Elsinore,
but alas, he was not.
Terrible.
Oh. No, he didn't make the.
He's not playing yet, so maybe he was hurt.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully, like they got rolled. Like,
yeah. I mean,
for those that don't know, like I do a lot of stuff on Instagram, and like I posted like a position player pitching that was like 57, 59. That one gets like 200,000 views on Instagram, and then like his teammate goes yard, and that gets like 10. So
you see home runs all the time, so makes sense.
but anywho,
I think that brings us to maybe up to a 0.6 for the first episode, huh?
Yeah, I'll check that. Definitely get on that. Earthquake, see where we scored on there. Maybe go 0.01 ahead of that, whatever that was on the Richter. But
no doubt. That was
where can people find you? Where can people find you on the interwebs? Like where you got?
I mean, I feel like my name's pretty unique. If you just Google Jheremy Brown, you should be able to find it. I don't know fully what it is. Honestly, J Brown PG maybe.
More on Twitter, X,
Instagram,
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. I gotta update my top 8. But yeah, I haven't looked at my top 8 in a while.
It's just me and Tom chilling.
Might still have Fallout Boys, the song on there. So yeah, that's where.
Most of my stuff, I do a ton of video for those. If we didn't get that point across, like YouTube channel's got like 25,000 videos, but most of the video content, PG California on Twitter, and then SoCal Steve PG on the Instagram application with some underscores, but SoCal Steve PG.
You can find it.
Yeah, Google us. Google me, baby.
First episode, pretty good. We'll see how it looks post-production.
I didn't stroke out. Anybody else we need a pub? Like that we want some free shit from? KK Sports Cards, Clubhouse 8 to 5 up in the valley, little training developments place that we might be doing some stuff with.
Big fan of Chipotle. We can get them going.
Zen.
All right. Steve, you say bye now.
That's it. Bye now.
Thanks.